Boys, what I wanted to talk about was a thought that's been brewing in my head for the past couple of days, and I was just stuck on a toilet from some expired hummus, and the timer on a hob finished. And here I am making this video. So, our minds are corrupted, and it's important that we uncorrupt them to be able to think clearly, to access a source of infinite intelligence that's just out there, but we can't see it because of the noise. So, what I mean by our minds are corrupted, it's the internet. We live in a world where, in this highly digitalized world where we're in a tunnel, right? We're in a tunnel and we can only see like forward. Everything else is dark and black, and we can only see forward. This means that we cannot see, we're not aware of, and we can't access this source of infinite intelligence, which I very much believe in. In order to be able to access this, you really have to learn to be with yourself and your thoughts in a quiet place, right? So you can go in the garden, make up a little fire, have a cigar or cigarette, whatever you want, take out a journal and a pen, and just sit with yourself in silence, right? But prior to this, you will have to do some sort of dopamine detox, right? Because again, the internet corrupted your mind, the algorithm corrupted your mind. I think one of the best things you can do is connect to sources from the pre-internet era. So what can be books, autobiographies, because you really are, when you're reading their words, you are reading, it's their words. It hasn't been tampered with, or at least that's what we know. But these people that wrote these books, it's their words, right? So when you're reading it, you're sort of becoming him. You're absorbing him. But most importantly, these people that wrote these books, they didn't have a corrupt mind. It was them, just them and their thoughts, sitting with each thought for weeks, for months, letting it properly brew, not just some quick, fast, take this, give me money type of shit. They really sat in silence with their thoughts. They connected to this source of infinite intelligence. So read books from the pre-internet era, and also art. Art as well. It's something. At first, I was like, art museums. Why would I go to an art museum? That's a bit gay, right? But I'm starting to rethink that opinion on it, because these artists, they were there with a paintbrush in hand, with a canvas, basically in isolation for a really long time. Now, I'm not saying stay in isolation, because isolation is dangerous, but these people, yeah, man, they let their creativity out. Now people cannot be creative. People can't access this source of intelligence, because again, our minds are too corrupted with, they're too tainted by the algorithm. Do you know what I mean? That's why this term brain rot even exists. It rots your brain. It doesn't allow you to be creative. It doesn't allow you to, flow, be free as a man, you know? Again, we're so constricted in this tunnel, right? Everything is just dark around. So, art and books. Lay down on the phone, lay down on the game, lay down on anything that's technology. Just forget it. At least temporarily, of course. I'm upset. I'm upset because That is the third time I got interrupted by a iCloud storage full notification. But as I was saying we are becoming so demoralized from reaching our goals, from reaching our outcomes because of our algorithm basically. You know, oh, I can't become this athlete because everyone look how many people are doing it. Look how many people are posting content better than me. Uh, this market is saturated in this business venture that I want to go to, etc. Beforehand, they didn't have that. They didn't look at other people, what they were doing. They just executed, right? So let me do a little recap so I can also remember myself what I said. So you want to absorb yourself in art from the pre-internet era, right? Absorb yourself in that creativity. Try and become them. See through their eyes. Spend time alone, right? Learn to be bored with yourself and your thoughts in a quiet environment, just with a pen and paper. Just letting yourself flow, letting yourself connect to this source of infinite intelligence, right? Letting your words go on paper. Then you want to make up these you want to make up some pillars, right? That you want your outcome goals to be in life, right? What is your purpose? Why were you born to be here, right? You weren't born to be here to jerk off all day, right? So for me, excuse me, for me, I had 5 pillars. I had physical goals, financial goals, dating goals, mental goals, masculinity goals. And under each pillar, right, I broke it down into each small individual components that make up this pillar, and I created daily steps and I took them. So map out your pillars, make it detailed. Think of each component that would make just each individual pillar up and take action onto them, right? Another thing that I recommend you do is visualization. There's a good book called Psycho-Cybernetics, and basically you want to take these pillars and then you want to visualize, you do some visualization techniques where you create a new identity for yourself, right? You integrate these pillars into you. You create a strong self-image, right? The perfect self-image of what you want to become. And you're training your nervous system to believe those things, and it will subconsciously guide you towards those actionable steps, right? You become this identity and then you leave all of the crap behind, right? Okay. Uncorrupt your mind. Uncorrupt your mind. Stay away from technology for a while. Fully submerge and immerse yourself in this infinite source of intelligence. Make up this map, your battle plan. Take those steps daily. Let your creativity flow and use discipline to take action daily, right? And this will build you into the man that you want to become. This will build the self-confidence you need. You know what I'm saying? So for example, let me go back to visualization. It takes 21 days to like fully rewire. So every day for 21 days, take 15, 20, 30 minutes, right? At one time, where you can split it up into multiple 2-minute visualization blocks throughout your day, and just play over your head, right? Scenarios where the future you who had mastered those pillars, those goals, is living those goals, right? So if you want money, picture him. Picture your future self driving the cars, having the houses. waking up with purpose, with energy, right? With discipline, working away, whatever you're doing, right? And then you guide this, what the author in psychocybernetics calls the success mechanism, right? You just rewire this success mechanism, and you subconsciously decide the right actions to take. If your goal is to get women, you would shift into this new identity. You leave behind jerking off and all of that bullshit, and you'll imagine yourself approaching women with charisma, being playful, being humorous, just being a man, letting yourself flow, letting your creativity flow, having enough trust in your own masculinity, to let things flow. So that's what I wanted to share with you, and I hope you don't delay this exercise, right? So uncorrupt your mind, remain untainted, absorb yourself in tradition, in past figures, past characters that wasn't exposed to the internet, and connect with this infinite source of intelligence and make your dreams come true. That's what I wanted to talk about today. And you better fucking act. Take action.